The sun was beginning to set over a peaceful neighborhood park in Los Angeles, and it created long shadows over the playground. While children giggled and chased each other around the jungle gym, their parents sat on benches and engaged in conversation. In contrast, the atmosphere in one particular section of the park was everything from upbeat. Sarah, a young mother, was attempting to soothe her son Ethan, who was weeping because a bunch of bullies composed of teenagers had intentionally knocked his ice cream to the ground. Ethan was 5 years old at the time. During the time that Sarah was kneeling to soothe her kid, the adolescents mocked and made nasty comments. Immediately, as his acute eyes had focused on the sight, he made a course correction without any hesitation. Instead of shouting at them or threatening them, which, let's be honest, would have been enough to make them feel uncomfortable. What followed was his appearance. "Hey, little man, you okay?" It had a deep, warm voice that he used to growl. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is 6 feet 5 inches tall and with a charismatic personality, was running in the vicinity when he became aware of the ruckus. At first, the bullies did not see him. It wasn't until his shadow fell over them that they became aware of him. It may have been the Rock's mere presence, or it could have been the fact that his remarks were truly heard. A cross was made by the Rock's arms. That's not that simple, is it? Now how about we replace that ice cream? After pulling out his wallet, he presented Sarah with a $100 note. Give him whatever it is that he desires, and maybe even something for yourself as well. Delights are due to mothers. The scene was captured by cameras, and within a few hours, the hashtag The Rock Stops Bullies became popular all over the globe. Always keep this in mind the next time you want to seem tough. Nevertheless, they whispered their apologies one by one. After that, they fell to the ground and struggled through their push-ups as the spectators stared in shocked silence. Months later, the same bullies were working at a youth center and mentoring children. This was all accomplished because The Rock changed lives. Was The Rock's move that nobody could have predicted, Captain? Are you aware of what determines true heroes? It's being kind and championing the cause of others. 8. After opening the door, Sarah was anticipating the arrival of a box. However, as she opened it, she saw Dwayne Johnson himself standing there, carrying a massive ice cream cake that had Ethan's favorite superhero on it. A message to the boys from the park. I am aware that you are more capable than that. I have a task for you, and that is to do 30 days of community service with me. Although he was racing in circles, he yelled out, "The Rock is at our house," before falling into The Rock's knees in order to give him a hug. We should transform that bad energy into something constructive. Will we? That is the conduct of a hero. Small touch was given to Ethan's chest by him. Card had a dazzling WWE logo sticker and was named after Ethan. On top of that, and he retrieved 2 tickets from the other pocket he was carrying. I was in the first row at WrestleMania, along with your mother. At the backstage area, we will meet all of the celebrities. So, as the official president of the Cool Kids Who Respect Their Moms Club, I'm inducting you as our newest member. In all seriousness, Ethan, let's chat. Do you know the reason I really came by? You want to try to be tough, observe how you react when you are under actual pressure, that you have a mother who is so strong is a fairly fortunate thing for you. Not to engage in combat with him, but rather to publicly repent in front of the camera for their misdeeds, and then to assist in coaching a wrestling clinic for children. At the conclusion of the game, same individuals who had previously tormented a youngster were now carrying little children onto their shoulders and cheering them on as if they were proud older brothers. The lights suddenly went out, however. They were given a microphone by The Rock in front of 80,000 spectators. When a little boy has his ice cream tampered with, it is imperative that justice be carried out. This is the time for your last examination. Now they're mentoring kids, leading by example. That's how you turn your life around. And now, justice is served in the form of triple fudge. After that, he gave a wink and took something out of his pocket, which turned out to be a replica of a WWE title. Next time someone tries to mess with you, remember, you've got The Rock in your corner. There was something that The Rock did that was entirely unexpected. You guys really think picking on a kid makes you tough? The man gave a head shake. A real strength is lifting people up, not tearing them down. Bullies froze, their smirks quickly disappearing as they froze. He got down on his knees next to Ethan and flashed his renowned grin that is worth $1 million. With wonder in his eyes, Ethan's tears began to calm down as he looked up at the action hero. One individual attempted to remark something that was belligerent, but The Rock interrupted him with a raised eyebrow. "Tell you what, how about you apologize to Ethan and his mom, then do 20 push-ups right here to prove you're actually as tough as you pretend." After that, The Rock shifted his attention to them, not so much with wrath as with disappointment. The adolescents shuffled in an uneasy manner. As everyone was surprised, the bullies really listened. They were already struggling to breathe by the 9th repetition. After the embarrassed teenagers had fled, The Rock turned his attention back to Ethan. In addition to being unable to speak, Sarah was crying. However, The Rock was not finished. Finally, before he left, he lowered himself to Ethan's level once again. Applause broke out from the audience that had assembled for the event. But what is the most exciting part? There was more to the tale than that. The Rock uploaded a video on his Instagram account the next day. And what do you think? They made their appearance. The Rock didn't simply halt a horrible moment. He transformed lives. Due to the fact that this is what true heroes do, 1 week after the event that went viral at the park, Sarah and Ethan were at their house when they heard the doorbell ring. He smiled and continued, "Thought we should finish what those punks ruined," referring to the situation. It was almost as if Ethan's eyeballs were forced out of his head. Although she was still in shock, Sarah was able to giggle. "You really didn't have to?" To which The Rock said, Nah, while waving his hand. They were digging into the cake when The Rock leaned in close to them, as if he were divulging a secret. Despite having a mouthful of icing, Ethan shook his head, because by the time I arrived, I had already heard that you had defended your mother on that particular day. He reached inside his back pocket and brought out a membership card that had been manufactured just for Ethan. Once again, Sarah came to tears. "I don't know how to thank you." That Rock gave a wink. "Just keep being a good parent to this young man." Since Ethan's scream was so loud, it is likely that the neighbors heard it. The redemption of the bullies narrative. While everything was going on, the teenagers from the park had been maintaining their commitment to community service. But The Rock was not yet finished with them. Once again, he took them by surprise on one of their designated volunteer days. "All right, you knucklehead types. There has been a lot of effort by you." In the gymnasium, he took them to a wrestling ring that had been set up. He had each of them enter the ring one at a time. A nod of permission was given by The Rock. "That is the case. I was aware of the vitality that you had." After a few months had passed, Sarah and Ethan were seated ringside at WrestleMania, where they were shouting as The Rock made his entrance. In the ring, the individuals who had previously been bullies were seen donning shirts that said "Respect Crew" when they returned. "These guys used to think strength was about intimidation," he said in an announcement. The audience became ecstatic and cheered. As confetti began to fall from the sky, and Ethan shook his foam finger in a highly enthusiastic manner, Sarah had the realization that this was more than simply a celebrity doing a charitable act. This was a lesson on the power of leading with heart, as well as in the concept of second chances.